So when it comes to running a business, in my personal opinion, I think that is the most things that you can automate, the better off you and your business is going to be. And it doesn't necessarily apply strictly to cleaning businesses, right? I think that this is clear across the board, right? In most cases, and here's why I say that. I'm sitting with one of my clients, this was a couple of days ago. I'm sitting with one of my clients, and what should have been, a 10-15 minute visit ended up turning into, a 3 hour visit, non-exaggeration, right? No exaggeration. So it turns into like a 3 hour visit. And it's okay because the visit wasn't a bad visit. It was, it was a good visit. So now all that extra time, we're just building, right? We're building rapport. We're talking about business. We're talking about personal stuff. But I'm going to give you a little insight on how that conversation went, just to add context to who this client is, right? This client is very, very, very well off, right? They do very well. He comes from a background of business owners. um, money isn't an issue. Now I can't tell that by looking at him, but through talking to him, i I see the signs, like everything is there, right? So this is how a lot of the conversation went. We're there, we're building, we're talking about, I don't even remember how this actually even came up, but we're talking about this car that we both have in common. We both have this car in common, right? We both want this car. One day I will get this car. It's a Porsche Taycan Turbo S. This is what I want, right? I want this car. I will have this car one day. So we're talking about the car. He says he loves the car. He's going through like all the specs on the car and all this different stuff, right? And his wife gets up. She leaves. She goes to go handle some business or something. And he looks at me and he just says, "You know what, Marcus? If I really wanted that car, I can go get it today. I can go buy that car today." Uh, this car it's a pretty expensive car, right? I could probably get the car too, but it's not going to be as easy as it would be for him. Like I'm going to have to. It'll be a very bad financial decision for me to go get this car. Let's just say that. Um, so anyways, we're talking about this car. He says I can go get the car today. And he's like, in my neighborhood, I see these cars from time to time. But to be honest with you, it's not he says I'm not impressed by, what's in people's driveway or what kind of watch they have on their wrists, he's not impressed by these things. And he looks at me and he says again, he's like, I haven't been able to take my wife on a vacation in almost 10 years. This is what he says, almost 10 years. And he's kind of getting emotional a little bit, right? I can hear it, see it in his eyes, voice cracking a little bit. So his wife, she comes back in. She has no clue what we're talking about. And she, answers a couple of phone calls and then she leaves again. And I ask him, I say, hey, okay, the material things don't drive you. That's fine. Those things really don't drive me either. I said, but what motivates you? What keeps you going? What are you impressed by? And he says, I'm really impressed by the systems that business owners have in place. Now he goes on and double backs on what I'd already picked up on. He says, listen, man, money's not a problem. He said, my payroll is almost $50,000 a month. His payroll, what he pays out, right? This is not talking about the building. This is not talking about, the supplies. This is not talking about this is what he pays out per month in just payroll, right? 50K. So money's not a problem. Now here's the thing. This is what I will say. We've built up to the point, we're about an hour into the conversation at this point. We've built up enough rapport where he sees how I am. I see how he is. He's comfortable in sharing these things with me. This is where I'm going to divert the story, and this is what I will say. I'm going to say this. When you are growing your business, when you're starting your business, when you are starting to flourish and you're starting to have wins, it's important for you to not only grow your business, but simultaneously grow your personal network and grow your business network. And here's why. When what sounds like a win to you or what's a win to you, right? What is a win? What things that you're happy about, things that you that you celebrate, right? Whether you just close your first account, whether you just close your 50th account, whether you just added $1,000 to your monthly revenue, or 50,000 to your yearly revenue. Those things are all wins, right? But here's where your wins can become a problem. And I promise I'm going to get to the whole systems thing here in a minute. But this is where that can become a problem. That could become a problem where if the people that are in your network as you're growing are the same people that's in your network now, and you guys don't have the same goals, or you're not aligned mentally on as far as like when it comes to money, when it comes to business, what's a win to you, right? And you're just talking about what happened to you on a Tuesday. That's going to look like a flex to someone else. Someone else is going to be jealous because they don't have the same thing. It's going to sound like you're bragging to them, right? And you're not really bragging. You're just saying what happened. This is the same thing. Like, he's telling me, like, my payroll to my staff, I do pay 100,000. My payroll ranges from it's like 217 to 220, or I'm sorry, 117 to 100 to like $127,000 per year. This is what the payroll is for us per year, but he's doing 50,000 per month, right? If I wasn't in business, I'm sure he wouldn't have felt confident or comfortable enough to tell me that. I didn't take it as him flexing. He's just telling me what his life is. This is what my life is. So he tells me, like, I haven't taken my wife on a vacation in almost 10 years. He then goes on to say what his payroll is per month. Money is not an issue. But he says the thing that impresses him the most is systems, right? Because he knows that if he has the right system put in place, that all of the things that he perceives to be a problem, all of the things that people who are just starting in business would pray to have the type of problems that he's having. But that's not to say that he's ungrateful. That's just saying that he recognizes that good systems are invaluable, right? So he's telling me, I really enjoy good systems. I'm the same way. When I look at a good system and I see a good system, I'm really trying to reverse engineer it to see what is it about that system that's making it work, and what can I take from that system and apply it to my own systems to make my systems flow that much more smooth. The whole point is that it comes down to systems, right? So now taking us into now we're going to get into the janitorial space, right? The commercial cleaning space, and systems still do apply. So what do I mean when I say, like, I'll create a system, right? I don't want that to just be like some sort of, just buzzword that people just say. What are we talking about? We're talking about the things in your business that makes your business go. And if you want to automate your cleaning company, the systems definitely much are in place. So let's look at, like, what's the first step that you're going to want to do? The first thing that you're going to want to do is you want to really step away from the day-to-day tasks. So the main day-to-day task is the labor. So you need to hire or bring in a subcontractor, or however it is, you need to get out of doing the labor part as quickly as possible if you're looking to automate your system, right? So what are the components of having a good staff? Like, let's talk about W-4 workers for a second. Like, what are some of the good components of having a W-4 worker? Well, there are three things that I believe, right? You got three things. One, the W-4 worker or the employee has to be competent, right? They definitely have to be competent in being able to just simple basic competence. I had my very first employee, the bathroom, we call them Z folds, right? They're the paper towels above the trash can, or you pull them down and you dry your hands, whatever, right? So I said, okay, go ahead and fill the dispenser up, showed her where the key was, showed her where the Z folds were. So she puts the Z folds in, right? But the Z folds come inside of, there's like a paper casing around them, right? It's just a paper wrapper. So it's all of the Z folds they're wrapped. There's paper that's wrapped around them. You got to take the paper off and then put them inside of the dispenser. Well, she just puts them inside of the dispenser and locks it up. So when I go check, I open it and they're all still in the paper, right? This is it was disappointing because her level of competence didn't meet what I expected, anyone to know, right? So that situation didn't work out. But this is what I mean when I say, have a certain level of competence. After they have the competence, you're going to want to make sure that they have the will to learn, and they're also going to want to have a good work ethic. Now, if you are competent, you have the will to learn, and you have good work ethic, it doesn't matter if that person has never cleaned a day in their life. You can take that person, as long as you're a good trainer or a good instructor, you can take that person and mold them into the best cleaner. Not only can you take that person and mold them into the best cleaner, but that person could, since they're teachable, you can teach them on how to be a manager. If they have all of those things, they're proven to be a good manager, and they have good people skills, and they're able to communicate, or they're able to effectively communicate in a way that's digestible to anyone that's listening, then that person could probably even work their way into being an operations manager, right? So these are the three main components that any good employee that most people will want to have in their company, regardless of the industry, okay? So once you're no longer doing the labor, then you're going to want to start to automate some of the back end stuff, some of the stuff that people don't really see, right? This is some of your admin tasks. These are some of your admin duties. That's going to be your all of your payroll stuff, right? That can look like all of your invoicing, right? When I first started, I would manually send out my invoices, and it was cool because I just started, and I could remember, okay, I got like 7 accounts. I can send this one, send that. Like, I could remember all of the accounts that I had. Now it's to the point where I don't remember. Like, if I sat down, I'd have to break them all down by city. And then I could figure out, but it's too many, right? So that process is automated. On the first of the month, every month, all of my invoices go out, they get paid. I get a notification, check my, you know what I mean? Like, this part is automated. I never have to send out an invoice. You want to make sure that all of your bookkeeping, all of those things, all of the stuff behind the scenes are actually, automated, right? After all of those things are done, then you're going to want to automate the process that it takes to go out and bring in potential employees. Now, it could take you, 100, I'm not gonna say 100. For every 10 interviews you do, you may get one good candidate. But this is the way, it's a numbers game. This is the way it works. But the point is you want to have those things automated as well. Okay. And the more and more and more you can fine tune your system, the more you can automate as much things as possible to pull yourself away. Then you can look back and you'll say, you know what, I have a fully automated business, or 95% of my business is automated. I would never really suggest being completely out of touch with your business. Just because you always want to, keep the temperature, always want to figure out, what's going on, what things can I change, what can I tweak. Like, I will never completely step away from the business. There will always be something that I will do because I want to do. Like, there's parts of the business that I do like doing, right? But there are things in the business that I don't like doing. But I have the option to choose what I want to do, what I don't want to do. Next year, I'm planning on taking probably like a month-long vacation. This summer, we're probably going to go somewhere too, but next year, maybe towards the end of this year, I want to be gone for like a month and just build and reflect and do all the things that I want to do all of the things that I got into business to do, right? And things like taking 6-week long vacation. So, but yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. Automation is key. But guys, like I say, in the game of business, spectators are going to watch, hustlers get into the game so they can win. Guys, I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.